Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Will
So
that still warn you if the tornado's imminent or something?
yeah. So we couldn't hear your
You want
mic
to
before.
know.
We couldn't hear your mic before. Do you want to try
Okay.
again?
Eh, that's okay. You can hear me.
Yeah. Okay.
One of you was coming through more than one place, so I'll just
Oh.
do this.
Oh. Okay.
Good.
Sounds good.
If
So is Gary planning to be
Yeah.
on the call?
Yeah. No, we
And
had.
whoever else?
Yeah. We'll see who else.
Susu?
if
I think we just had a call with Susu, so I think she's busy.
Okay.
Mm.
Okie dokie. Well, we are planning on using this very van to come to see David Hawk
that's very
next
nice.
month,
And
and it will be our next trip.
in case someone calls either one, tell them I'm in the bed resting because I signed the thing saying I would stay in 2 days and not get out of bed. And I'm not a liar.
Ah.
Well, sometimes a little bit. Don't let Gary know that. Gary gets angry when he finds out that I'm lying. It's morally reprehensible.
Yeah.
What are you lying about this time, David?
Yeah.
Oh, I had an
There
operation
he is.
yesterday where they let me go home if I promised to stay in bed 2 days. And so this is a bed scene that you're looking at.
Uh-oh.
So
You were in the
Yeah,
hospital?
and
Are you all right?
yeah, it's fine. When I was
Oh,
under,
good.
the doctor's report this morning I read, it's quite humorous, that he claimed I was smiling during the operation. And so
Oh, my goodness.
he's worried about my behavior because you're not supposed to smile when they're operating.
I would be talking to the anesthesiologist about what he gave you.
Yeah,
Don't you?
it was a her,
Oh,
and I
whatever.
spent time with her before. She was great.
Clearly.
this was your gallbladder?
I'm sorry.
This was your gallbladder?
Yeah, they went in to remove things that were in there, and I had a funny stone that was an organism, which was roaming around. It wasn't laying there like it should, looking for a hole to go through. And so they wanted to go in and talk to it and maybe remove it, and they did.
That's good. So you still have your gallbladder?
The next operation, they'll remove it.
Yeah. My husband had to have his out.
Yeah.
They said it was a bag full of gravel.
Yeah, it's that medical shit. It's that's different than me. That's not part of me.
Okay,
Yeah.
Judith. So since you have the experience, could you explain what the gallbladder removal involves and what it's all about?
Well, so Ralph's was not as easy as some are, where they can just make little incisions and use a robotic thing that will remove it through the little holes that they've made. So they did make those holes and then discovered, well, it's too big a bag of gravel. We can't cut it into pieces. So they made a big, almost 8-inch long incision.
Ow.
Right.
Yep.
And got it out. And
Right.
and mainly because the surgeon has had big hands.
Yeah, that's important.
And he needed to get them in there, he said. So he
Yep.
apologized for the big incision. And with the staple marks, which also leave scars, it looks like a big centipede going diagonally down his belly. But at water polo tournaments, I think it gets a lot of hero worship, and he looks like more of a Viking, I think, when he.
Yep.
I'm teasing him. He's right here.
Yeah.
Can you see it when he plays water polo?
Oh yeah, we went and watched. Of course, it's like 90 degrees in there and humid. I was like, oh my gosh, I need a jet engine sized fan in here. But so I was only in there for an hour or so. But they won every single game that this tournament at Dalhousie.
No, that's if you could see the scar when he's playing water polo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, water polo bathing suits let you tell whether someone is circumcised or not. I mean, it's really not bad.
That's nice. That's good to know.
You know, they don't wear those most of the time swimming anymore. Little tiny Speedos online. They don't want anything
Yep.
anyone can grab, right? Under the water.
Yep.
So it's very tight and it's like a rubber,
Yep.
it's like a shower or a swim cap or something, but
Yep.
with leg holes.
Yep. Yeah.
But it was, they are the champions. He was on the Newfoundland team. And it was the Masters, so it's all older, guys, but this was not very tightly regulated by age. So Ralph was the oldest guy on the team, but he did great. They had a great time. They won every game. That doesn't happen every time.
See, there's hope after all.
Yeah, you got to enjoy the good stuff while you get
That's
it.
right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. And it was over St. Patrick's Day, so being in Nova Scotia, being in Halifax over St. Patrick's Day is a treat. So that's
very nice.
Good. Always good. So many Scots. They're like a Celtic then. Scots playing bagpipes and wearing kilts as Irish people enjoying the day. There's a funny Irish comedian who I think is a.
So did they dye the pool green?
Who? What was that, Gary? What did you say?
No, I was asking if they dyed the pool green.
No, they didn't. Did they? Yeah. It sounds like something they might do, but they did not do it because it was the Dalhousie University pool. So it's, as a prank, I can almost. Why didn't they? But yeah. Anyway, it was a good trip because I finished high school there. My dad got that dream job at Dalhousie, so we moved from Buffalo to Halifax when I was 15, and all of the three of us were going, "Where is that? Where's Nova Scotia?" Because typical American teenagers. I'd only ever heard about it in that song "You're So Vain." The lyrics, right? So I'm like, where is that? Is that even in Canada? So yeah, we learned a lot ourselves, and I, started going to university up there because my dad was teaching at Dalhousie. So I met Ralph up there, and then before I married him, I said, "How do you feel about moving to the States? Because I intend to raise my kids in the States." So he said, "I'm okay with that." So he did. He never did take citizenship though. He's only, landed, whatever. He's a legal alien, and with Trump, man, if we were not in New York State, we might be concerned. But my sister, being transgendered in a red state, is really concerned. I mean, scared. And is planning to emigrate. I mean, she found out that the landed immigrancy that we all had because of Dad never stopped. It's still in effect. So Donna is planning on moving to Canada, getting Canadian citizenship, and getting rid of her American citizenship. She's that angry and upset. Yeah. It's serious, man. Because she's still waiting for an answer from the upper echelons of American Airlines, whose headquarters are in Dallas, saying, what are you going to do to protect me from these? Senator just put forth a bill, I think I mentioned it in the last phone call, to make it a felony, gender fraud. They're going to call it a jailable felony offense if you are in Texas as someone who has transitioned. I don't see how they can do it. I really don't see how they can do that. It seems unconstitutional to arrest people who have legally transitioned in it.
Oh, hang on. They'll find a way.
Well, her way is to move to Canada.
Yeah.
Canada's gain for sure.
Yeah. she is really good at what she does. And if American Airlines won't let her work remotely, then she's ready to walk away when she's only 18 months away from lifetime flight privileges.
Wow.
And mom is in Dallas Fort Worth area. So I'm scrambling. I'm going to be home later today, and I'll immediately start looking at what can a veteran who also is on Medicare afford in Rochester, but in terms of elder care. Yeah, because she's 95 going on 96. So this is, for Donna to say, well, I might never see mom again. I have to go to Canada and not cross the border, according to her immigration attorney. Yeah, freaky times with this guy in charge. And it doesn't, the fact that it's unconstitutional and you should be able to sue means that you could spend years being, imprisoned and whatever before you've proven your case and get the heck out of there, right? Yeah. So looks like we're at one of these caverns roads. So how far is it now? 5 miles? So there's this underground cave in New York State that has like a river flowing through it underground and a waterfall that's 100 feet tall. And I didn't even know it existed. And they found it in 1920 something when 2 cows fell into this cave. They don't say what happened to the cows, but the family that owned the farmland was like, whoa. So they turned it into a tourist, a public attraction and stuff.
Hope they got the cows out.
I hope so too. They sort of deserve to be, deserve something more than being, I don't know, cave meat. But yeah, so both of them are, I guess there's 2 caves that are competing with each other for tourists. And so they have very colorful signs how capitalism works, right? No, go this way. No, go this way. But it's entertaining anyway. So are we at this call? Are we making plans for the April meetings? Because I can stay in the van and talk, and these 2 can go and scout things out first.
We'll do a little bit now, and then if you want to wander off or something else. But yeah, so just to give you an update, so the current plans, I have to link everyone up. So the official start is on Monday morning, but the unofficial start is now on Sunday morning. On the Sunday morning, because the Method Collective, so that's Zion, Fran, and Kala, are they're going to actually fly to Chicago and drive. Because they're leaving for a 3 weeks after that, so they want to be home. So they'll be finishing on Wednesday evening.
Oh, I see.
And so we shifted a day for them, and so Zad and Sama will arrive on Sunday later in the day. They'll be coming in from West Chicago. It's Naperville. They're coming.
David, I lost my sound.
You've lost your sound. Okay.
It's too bad.
Can you hear now?
Can you hear?
Oh.
Are you there?
My sound went away.
I hear you.
Yeah, I hear him too.
Yeah, but he doesn't hear us. Maybe.
Should I reboot?
Yeah, reboot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so we'll get there to be. We may even be able to get there late on Saturday, maybe. What about you, Gary?
I should be there. My plan is to be there midday Sunday. So I'm going to leave on Saturday, probably stop over and see my sister in Indianapolis on Saturday evening, and then drive in the rest of the way Sunday morning.
Okay. Sounds good. So you, what about you, David?
We'll be there on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you're staying at a hotel?
Yeah, Gary and I are both at the at Super 8. So,
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're trying to leave the benefit of the full David Hawk experience.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Well, we'll
Can
get
you? Can,
a diluted David Hawk experience because we're bringing our own bedroom, but and mainly bathroom, but we'll be taking showers in there. I think
yeah.
that will do.
So, can you hear David?
Can you hear? Make sure you're not muted. Somebody type to him that he just needs to make sure that.
Well, actually we can hear his mic. The question is, can he hear us? Oh, he's gone to do mechanic stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so have we worked out? I guess they will kind of end up working out. So the lower part of David's house will become a Muslim facility. Is this the
Well,
expectation?
Muslim?
Yeah.
yeah. See. So we can hear you, David.
Where do the Jewish people go in then? Do they have their own entrance? What's the?
Well,
That could be dangerous.
you don't wear a headscarf.
Oh heck no! And I won't
So
wear a scarf either.
yeah. So that was the major going back and forth with Sama about that. So yeah. So there's a self-contained suite down in the basement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Deanna calls it Esther Suite. Calls it after David's mother's.
Oh,
Well, the issue apparently is they in their sleeping space they need significantly more privacy.
oh,
And so, it's just a matter of everybody understanding how
I'm
the
sorry?
space will be allocated is what I think is the issue.
okay.
Yeah, no, it actually is that we can't see her without her headscarf, right? So the
Right.
concern is between the bedroom and the bathroom,
I
and
see.
so yes, that's a dedicated Muslim area.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. Uh,
Well, it looks like they're open. This place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll
okay,
let
I
you
turned
guys
it off.
Okay.
go check and see what gift shop. Where's the closest gift shop? Go over towards
See
there.
this? That went on.
Yeah. This place is big and fancy. Wow. It is so warm ahead of the
It's
storm
gone.
that's coming. It's like.
No, it's not that one.
Are you warm in Toronto, David?
Let's
It
go
was
back.
yesterday.
Yeah, because holy mackerel, it's sunny and it's like almost 70 degrees here.
Wow. Well, it's 50s and dropping into the 40s in Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you open it for me a little bit? There. Thank you. Oh, that's good. So I'll stay here while you guys
Hi,
scout.
Hello,
Okay, we can hear you, David.
David. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Can you hear
You
us?
hear me? I don't hear
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, now I do.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you do.
Okay, now I do. Thanks very much.
Okay. Can you
Woo!
Good.
Can you turn on your camera?
Yes, I will.
Hopefully that doesn't knock out your sound.
No, where's my camera? Good.
There's a button down below.
Yeah, I clicked on it, but maybe it doesn't allow me both.
No,
Okay.
no. What happened was that you had it before, and then I think you've lost it. So
They
Yeah,
need your help, but it's far away.
it's okay. I can listen.
okay.
And we can hear you.
Yeah. So we're just discussing Sama and Zad, who I swear is still playing the new husband role. He's I think I hate to say it, they've been married over a year now, and I think he's on the slow learning curve. It was,
Well,
one of the comments was we've been going back and forth because I have to do the menu planning for everyone, which is fine. Like I come from a family restaurant, so it's really a restaurant family, so it's not really such a big deal. And not to mention that I counted the number of people and I said, oh, it's only because I have 4 sons, it's only twice as number of the people that we normally have at home and around our dinner table. So it's not really a big deal. But Zad said, oh, that Sama has a sensitive stomach and she doesn't, and so she wants lighter food, but says, but may have lighter food anyway because he's seen how I eat. And then he says, but I actually don't know what she eats anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah.
yesterday, he brought it up again, and I said, well, she said she's busy because her parents are moving houses, and so I was saying, oh, I'm bringing an Instant Pot. I'm bringing because I know David's kitchen, so I want all the stuff I have at home. So I'm bringing the food processor. I'm bringing the rice pot, and so he
We'll
asked,
have stuff too.
so he asked, well, what could I ask of Samad? I said, well, because I've been doing a lot of bean dishes, it gets repetitive, like bean soups. If she could bring the spices, he says, you mean the herbs? And I go, what do you mean? Because
Yeah.
he's Pakistani and she's Syrian, and so he says
Yeah.
that when he goes home to his mother, that his mother has to actually cook a separate batch for Samah. Because the Syrians apparently, when they go to a Pakistani wedding, they get
Yeah.
all burned out. Apparently,
Oh, you should talk to Sama. Don't
I
even talk to Zed.
I know I
Come
will
on.
I will. There's a channel I'll go around, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Because yeah. It's better to talk to the woman anyway. She'll know
Yeah,
what he
yeah,
eats and she'll know what she eats.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He
I
doesn't.
know.
Yeah.
Well,
So
no,
it,
the last meeting we had with the Method Collective, it was a potluck, and so she brought soup, and so I was like, oh, that's a really good soup. I don't have no idea what you put in
yeah,
it.
like that at the Passion of courses too. So we have in the van, in which it's all portable too. So there's well, David Hawk probably has the full
David Hawk
complement.
has what? Sorry.
In your kitchen, you've probably got everything that anybody could need.
Knives, lots of knives, sharp ones, long ones.
But like a stove top and an
Yeah,
oven, and
yeah,
because
Yeah.
six burner,
okay,
gas stove. So yeah,
yeah.
it's
So he's
big.
all set. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need what we have in the van.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I can start the fireplace up too, and you can burn in the fireplace.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
But yeah.
David, some details. So what do you have on the ground floor now? Because you used to have a conference table there. Is there a
Yep.
television there now?
Yeah, there's both.
There's both.
There's two spaces side by side.
Nice.
One has the conference table with almost as many chairs as you can tolerate, and at least a dozen seats around it if you need. And then next to that is another room about the same size with no wall between, which has a TV in it and a bar for those that want to drink and watch TV instead of sit at the table.
I hate to ask where that is because I don't recall that.
They're parallel.
Ah,
Yep.
nice.
And it's sort of the girls' TV room because they didn't like the commercials I watch.
Well,
And then
Yeah,
that same room, there's a bathroom, back down the hallway.
okay.
And then to the left of the bathroom is the bedroom, a sort of a large guest bedroom with I guess, a shower connected. And then if you go back the other way, there's a pantry filled with foods.
yeah.
And beyond the pantry is the wine cellar that's not done yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's a door to the outside at the same level. So it really actually isn't a basement because you go in and out the same level.
Okay. So just from my memory, I come down the stairs. So
Yep.
so straight ahead is where the conference table is, wasn't
A
it?
little bit to the left, but ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
Straight ahead is sort of the dividing line with the back of sofas from the TV room and the back of the chairs into the conference table.
Did you redevelop that?
Oh, I don't know. The conference table used to be up on the top floor on the fourth.
Wow.
And so we used to have meetings up on the fourth floor. But I took that over as a bedroom.
Yeah.
And moved the table down.
Yeah. No, I actually I don't recall two rooms as you describe it.
Well, it's not really rooms. There's no wall, but there's a pole or two in between.
Okay, that's what I think. So
it's one huge space, but
yeah.
sort of two spaces. One for being bored at a conference table, and the other for getting drunk and watching TV.
Well, so I'm gonna need to actually plug in an HDMI cable into that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Should
So
work.
yeah, so we'll be downstairs, and upstairs I think will be the second group. So they'll use the dining room probably.
Sure. No,
So which group am I in?
You're in the dining room group.
Okay.
sure.
You get daylight.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Cool.
has lots of light and enlightenment and
Okay.
wisdom. Whereas downstairs, it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Lots of secrets down there.
The underworld. Okay. Got it. Got it. I might have to venture down there and experience that. We'll see.
Yeah. No, actually, the two levels feel very different because the lower level has a lot of foam in the wall for insulation.
Yeah.
So the acoustics are magnificent.
Okay.
But you really, just saying nothing, you feel the acoustics.
And it'll be cooler down there. I might get too warm upstairs. Who
Well,
knows?
it's pretty cool. It's as cool as you want in the house. But
Okay, good.
I have geothermal heat and cooling.
Oh, good.
We
Lovely.
can make it as cold as you want.
That's awesome. Everybody else will be complaining if it's the way I want it.
Oh,
So
good,
bring
good.
sweaters.
Good. And then I'll hand out the knives to everybody, and then you can have a real
Socks.
discussion.
Let's hand out socks instead. Nice warm socks.
Okay, same thing.
Yeah.
But you're traveling with a fan anyway, aren't you, Judith?
Oh, and an air conditioner. Oh yeah. Don't have a heater in here. No, don't need it. It was a little chilly in Maine overnight, I will say that. But we have electric blankets. So that's all we need. Just getting up to pee is very cold. Even I think that's
so.
really
David Hawk, two quick questions. The house in Iowa, you preferred people to take shoes off when they were in the house.
Yeah,
And is that still a preference?
probably, because I allowed 2 in last week to check out something, and one of them, because of his very tough shoes, cracked a little piece of an edge of a stair.
Oh.
And then later, a person without shoes got a splinter from what that person did.
Yeah.
So I gave the second person the telephone number of the first to call and ask why he did that.
Yeah, good. Well, we always take our shoes off when we go indoors anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's a good idea, but
So
it's not essential. I don't make a big deal of it, but most people do it.
Take their shoes off. Yeah.
Those that respect me and are scared of me take their shoes off. Those that want to make fun of me, leave them on.
Yeah, well, I'll bring my indoor Birkenstocks so I can be prepared. And so, second question is, what is your schedule that week? And do you plan to sit in with either of these teams about the conversation stuff?
Yeah, or I could just sit and listen to the tapes that I'm doing. Both groups are saying and compare the tapes.
Okay.
No, I'd like to participate if I'm allowed.
Well, no, you are invited, and I just didn't know if you even had any information yet about, because I'm still learning what the topics are going to be developing into. We've got a general idea, but it's not quite the way that the ones in Austria were, prepared well in advance.
Right.
Sure.
So who's in charge of the group that I'm in?
So, well, that's interesting because I think Gary and Susu will be there. So Susu is coming. She's flying into Chicago actually, like on the Tuesday before, and visiting with a friend. And I'm going to get the Method Collective to pick her up at O'Hare. So she'll go to O'Hare. She'll drive in. So she'll come on Saturday.
Okay,
and
cool.
So, but the orientation is probably towards helping Versailles from Tulane, and so you haven't met him yet.
I think I said hello online to him.
No, you never have.
No,
because I've been doing one-on-one calls because I didn't want to overwhelm him.
Okay. I could have sworn we said hello to somebody that was from Louisiana, Tulane. I could have sworn we did, but
no, not in these calls yet. Yeah, he hasn't joined one of our calls yet. So he is so he's had calls with David Hawk, with Gary, and with Susu, and so his orientation is actually towards field work and how you apply systems ideas in the field. And the new position he's going to have in September will be trying to get architects. My joke is to care about human beings.
They forget
Never,
that's what their job is, right?
it'll never work. I can guarantee you.
I'll be there to tell them why.
Yeah, no,
I will be there.
if you go to 1 or 2 lectures in architecture classes, you'll see it'll never work.
Yeah, well, we'll see what we can do. I am hopeful. The powers of examples, I think.
Yeah. So Versailles is, he's done a lot of kind of economic development in developing countries.
Okay.
And he seems to be taking that practice orientation now to try to figure out what to do with it from a social innovation position at Tulane. He's trying to incorporate kind of that practice knowledge into more of an academic realm. Okay. So, that I think that's basically the funnel from practice into some kind of consolidation of ideas and then into courses and programs. So, the orientation to the architecture stuff, David Hawk, I think will be, very much where your expertise would be helpful just to kind of connect those pieces. And Judith, anything about kind of the practice of the application of ideas would be good. Susu also a lot of the crossover of the application and the academic stuff as well. So my guess is it'll be some kind of a central intersection of that. And, as these things go, it will just wander towards people's experiences and the needs to learn and, whatever it evolves into over the week.
Okay, cool.
And so, David Ing, your group then will be basically the Toronto-based people.
Yeah, and so in effect, we're continuing the work that we did at Lugano at the next level. Yeah, so I'm working through the tools. It's like, so they are really practitioners that are they're all graduates of the OCAD-U SFI program, Strategic Foresight and Innovation, and they may be the only ones that actually make money at it.
Well, it's good to know you can.
Well, yeah.
David, keep in mind we also have the deck, which if the weather's decent, a group may want to use that, especially a group that likes coolness.
Yeah.
Like, say, for example, Judah sitting there alone.
Well, I'm not completely alone. My and now Ralph just came back. So.
Oh, good. Okay. but the deck is a nice place for meetings too.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different areas on the deck which could be used as well.
Okay. Very cool.
We're not having hailstorms and tornadoes.
Right.
Not all the day.
Yeah, only between the hours of.
Well,
okay, that's good.
Well, it depends on what you say, but you'll notice that.
I'm looking forward to that. This is going to be such an interesting.
So, David Hawk, do you have or do you have space that's amenable to have flip charts?
You mean, do I have a tripod for flip charts?
Well, we can bring other stuff with us. Like I'm pretty sure I've still got an easel for a flip chart and might have some flip chart paper. But then, do you have like space around to either, with painter's tape to put things up or to lay them, so that people can kind of have an array of charts as people are working on it?
If not, we can create this space. It's easy.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
We have plenty of. Remember, the house is about 8,000 square feet.
Yeah.
So we'll find 10 square feet for that.
Okay. Good.
Okay. So another quick question: are you feeding animals on your farm?
Unfortunately, yes.
But why? Unfortunately, that's fun.
Because they're my brother-in-law's animals.
Oh.
And he's rent-free on about 40 acres around the house. And twice a year, he separates the calves from their mothers. And so they're screaming 24 hours a day for approximately 48 hours, maybe 47. And
is that happening in April?
No, it's happening right now this week.
Okay.
And so,
Done in
in
April.
addition, I have 12 cats that are outside cats, and they get angry if you don't treat them nicely.
Well, I love cats, and they get along with.
I don't, and they know it. And so if I
Oh,
feed them late, they get really angry.
well, they're letting you live. That's very good.
Well,
'Cause
some of them
12
threatened me by laying on their back, wanting me to
Yeah.
rub their belly. Otherwise, they're going to claw me and eat me.
Yeah,
So cats are pretty mean.
they can be very. Yeah.
Mine are mean. You'll notice.
Well,
They, they live in a corn crib not far from the house.
Okay.
They are not allowed in the house
Okay.
unless they insist, but I do not allow them.
So you get up and do early morning feeding of the cows, the calves.
Not these days, since
Oh, okay.
I've been going through all these medical things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the brother-in-law takes sympathy and brings his large tractors and equipment and a large ground up grain bin that gives them wonderful grains near the house, but out on the hillside.
Okay.
They're actually pretty. They're quite nice cows.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's an interesting exercise to let people get up early and get involved in those things, just because it's a very different feeling for
sure.
being kind of connected.
Sure. No, my brother-in-law would love it because he likes that attention.
Okay.
And he loves his cows very much.
That's funny. So, what else do I need to know before I sign off and go look at this cave? Is there anything?
No, there's nothing you need to know. We'll handle everything. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be interesting.
Too. You're more than welcome, Judith.
Thank you so much. And I hope to make it both interesting and fun. For anybody who's not having fun, we will figure something out. I'm good at that. Okay, it's good to see everybody.
Okay.
Take care. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
So, David, we're having 8 people.
I lost count. So
I don't need to know. You said twice 4. So.
Yeah. So so all the bedrooms are full.
Okay.
Yeah. So exactly full. So Sama and Zad will be on the ground floor.
Okay.
And we actually do need to make sure the door is closed so that people don't go into that bathroom without their permission, that's not a problem.
I will clean it up a bit, and a couple of years ago it was actually used for showers, but it just hasn't been used lately, and it needs scrubbed.
Okay.
So I'll clean it up a bit.
Okay.
The issue for downstairs, David, is that Sama wears a hijab, and so they really need privacy when she's got it off. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Fine. So they would stay in the bedroom back in it's Natalie's bedroom?
No, they'll be downstairs in the big
all
suite.
the way down, the lowest floor.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the large bed and large bedroom there.
Yeah.
Next to a bathroom. The shower's essentially part of the bedroom area.
Yes.
And then just outside is the bathroom.
Yeah. So
Fine.
they get the best place there. Although I warned Zad, I'll have to remind her that that's actually the coolest room because she is Syrian. So it's like she will be wearing socks for sure.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's the coolest floor.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could turn on floor heat, but I'd have to finish reinstalling a gas water heater.
Yeah. So on the main floor, so Susu will take the rooms on the main floor.
Okay.
And then on the second floor, Zian and Fran are married, so they will go in the bedroom with the shower.
Okay.
Kala will have the bedroom next to them, because they're really good friends. They can use that shower, or they can use the bathroom.
There's another shower for that room. There's a bathroom outside.
Yes, yes, but it doesn't have a shower in it, does it?
Yeah, it does. It has
Oh,
a tub with a shower.
oh, okay. I I haven't been there in a while, so I never saw I saw the tub. I never saw the shower in the tub. Anyway,
Yep, yep,
um, so also Versailles will probably go in Natalie's room.
yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Judith, Judith and Ralph and Kyrie will be in their RV, but they will come in and use the shower. And so that's why I asked about the shower beside the TV room. Um, anyway, they can pick which shower they like and
Sure,
rearrange. That's yeah.
sure. The nicest one is the one on the lowest floor,
Mm,
but that's where the people wanting secrecy are
yes,
hiding.
yes.
Yeah, they have sins to hide from that keep them down there. That was humorous, right, Gary? No, I won't repeat it.
It's always in context, David.
I wrote, yeah. Yeah, previously when she was talking about circumcision, I wanted to interject that's part of Donald's problem, that they wanted to circumcise him, but they couldn't find anything. And and he never recovered from that experience. And so he's really angry. It's a
Yeah,
it's a man thing, you know.
yeah, yeah.
He
So
probably
so
understands that. I'm sorry, go
so so
ahead.
so David, do you have another surgery coming up then?
Yeah, just not sure. Could be next week, could be next something, whatever.
Okay.
They're waiting to do more examination of this organism they took out.
Uh,
That that what was in my gallbladder was not a stone.
oh,
It was an organism that crawls around, and so I think they want to write a science paper on it. And so I wanted to take it home and put it on my wall,
uh-huh.
and they won't let me have it. They say it's theirs. And so until they finish their analysis of whatever it is, and then I made fun of people that do analysis, pointed out that that's the fundamental problem with healthcare. It's based on analysis, not synthesis. And then, of course, they got upset, and it gets worse and worse. And I just don't get along with doctors, I guess.
But if it's an
And
organism,
the nurses laugh a lot.
I hate to ask where the organism came from, but
No, that's what they wanted to know. That's why the second surgery depends on where they think it came from, what created it.
huh.
And so
This isn't like an RFK brainworm or something, right? They don't.
they thought it would be, maybe. It is
So
not, no.
they're waiting to see if they can speak and then decide what to do with it, or
Yeah, no, they really love it, and they don't want to talk to me about it. So it's their baby.
Okay.
So it's anyway, but sometime, uh, and since they're two different hospitals that don't like each other, one's the university and one's the local Fairfield one. And, the Fairfield one kept me locked up a few nights ago when I had my extreme pains. I went in at 10 o'clock and I wanted to have them inject that stuff in my blood that within 15 minutes, I'm not there anymore and the pain's gone, which they did. But then they insisted on keeping me because they wanted to work on an arrangement with the university where they would be responsible, but university would do the procedure. In other words, they get paid. And so they wouldn't allow me to leave. And so they put me in a room for people that are claustrophobic to punish them and put me in there and it was freezing cold. I asked for a blanket. They gave me a sheet. And I said, this isn't working very well. They gave me another sheet. And I said, I'm still cold. They gave me a third sheet. And then I decided they were not going to give me a blanket. So we had a lot of discussions off and on. And finally at 5, I said, I'm part way to the other hospital that you're trying to make arrangements with. Why don't I just go home and sit and then go on to that hospital? They said, no, you're not allowed to do that. And I said, well, I am leaving. No, you're not. I said, well, you can watch me or you can close your eyes or whatever you like, but I really am leaving. And so I left. And went home. And that was part of a problem with the other hospital, which enjoyed it, but it made the surgery yesterday difficult because the others were not involved. And so now each wants to do the big operation where they cut in and remove an organ or two. And so they're fighting over who gets that. So on Monday, I have a meeting with the first hospital. And on Thursday, a meeting with the second hospital, where each has to market themselves as to why I should choose them. You can imagine how bad it is. But I don't know when the operation would be.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just makes me appreciate in Ontario we have a single payer system. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about money. I mean, the big operation is the most expensive, and that's the one they really, really, really want.
But if it's actually an organism, I could see that it would actually. It's not like a stone. Like it actually would sap your strength, and so maybe you don't need the big operation, right?
Yeah. Yesterday after the operation, I felt the best I had in years. I mean, not weeks or months, but years.
Wow.
And I slept fantastically well. And today I feel fantastic still. I mean, all the pains are gone that normally are in my chest and stomach. It's a totally different world with that organism gone. So maybe I don't need the organ removal, but they really want to remove whatever created the organism.
Makes sense, I think.
Who knows?
Well,
and I wanted to give them a lecture on most of medicine being neg entropy. So mostly they're dealing with neg entropy, and they just don't accept it.
Unless you have a medical miracle and you've actually created a child inside yourself, I assume it's a parasite that came from someplace else.
Yeah. They were calling it parasitic.
Okay, so they didn't say you had an immaculate conception then.
Not yet. Not yet. We're moving there, David. But look, this is Iowa. Okay. Remember when I had terrible throat troubles? I almost couldn't speak.
Mm-hmm.
And the throat doctor from the same hospital did the exam. And afterwards, he recommended I go to a speech therapist and learn how not to swear so much.
Oh, man.
This is Iowa.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm trying to avoid anything during the time when you're here. So
okay.
If the operation has to take place, I try and delay it till afterwards or next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, it's confusing.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll understand if you're like in the hospital.
Yeah.
I have the code for the door.
Actually, someone had made a comment that probably they would prefer that, David. So much for that. I'm really looking forward to it. I would not like to miss it.
Yeah. So Zad did the lecture at OCADU yesterday, and I admit I always lecture at the doctoral level. I really don't do it for master's students, and so they really, really, really liked what Zad said. And after I said, Zad is like he's at the level where he's online to do a TED talk because he simplified it enough that he can actually do that. And so it's really good. But I also told the students that that it's actually a turning point because this is the Understanding Systems course was written by Peter Jones in 2009, and Peter has revised the course incrementally since then, but the students were not getting it because Peter tends to lecture.
Yeah.
And the way we've done this course is that we actually make the students do the presentations. So I've been teaching the students how to use AI if they need it, but we would actually have them do the readings. And so I learned stuff yesterday, which was pretty interesting.
You I've about 10 magazines or journals have done an article on me since December. Whatever. Wall Street Journal, whatever. There's a London magazine, maybe London Financial Times or something. Anyway, a new one arrived this morning that you guys will enjoy, which I'm going to write back a nasty letter to them because it's the March 10th version of Time magazine. And they have me all the way back on page 6, where they have a one-page article, which is really an advertisement of various people on page 6. But on the cover is Nicole Kidman and not me. And so I'm going to write them a letter and criticize their decision-making process, that women should not be on the cover of magazines in America, that we're moving beyond that. And I'll copy the White House so Donald will feel like a real friend is out here in Iowa. But what the hell would Time magazine put me in for? I think it's ridiculous. I don't read the damn thing. I don't subscribe to it. I think it's stupid. And the next page after me is titled, "It's Time to Tackle Lead Poisoning." Anyway, I'd show it to you, except I can't bring up the video. But I had all these things that happened that I'm not disturbed, but I think, why do they waste their time doing this? Probably to avoid climate change.
Yeah.
But it's, anyway, something about humans. I forget what it was, but some comment about humans. But whatever I can do to help with your 2 meetings is great for me.
Yeah.
So, or I could sit on the stairs in between and just be quiet and patient, or go out to the cat barn.
I think it's going to end up being a pretty interesting mix of people by the time we get everybody there. 2 fairly small groups is actually, a good size to be working with.
Yep.
So I've got a political leaning question for you, David, about kind of all the recent 2 months of policies.
Yep.
It looks like people in rural farming kind of areas aren't exactly jumping up and down in favor of the latest policies.
Oh, no.
If they're jumping up and down, it seems to be to tear the eyes out of their Republican representatives.
Yes. If they check their bank account.
Yeah.
They're quite angry.
So, I mean, if I looked across the convergence of everything that happened about the latest changes, it looks like every one of them has punished small farmers.
Yep.
USAID, tariffs.
Yep.
I mean, just on and on and on. It's like if you were going to bird flu, like we're not going to try to address that. We're not going to address Medicaid and healthcare in rural areas. We're going to let measles spread. I can't imagine anything that any farmer is going, yeah, that's working for us.
I think it may be intentional, because if you look at the numbers, there's almost none. And so Donald really goes by numbers. And so as a voting mass, they appear trivial.
Okay.
It just depends on who has sympathy for them. And in Iowa, they're pretending to be sympathetic, but the small town people are not rising up. That they're attending some of the meetings, but it's sort of the farmer's problem.
Okay.
And it's very much the farmer's problem. I think last week they finally passed a bill which allowed some payment to people like Rachel and I for keeping some of the farmland in a more natural state.
Okay.
That was something Trump wanted gone, and they kept it anyway. And so at least Rachel and I will get a bit of pay for all the acres we keep out of production. But it's pretty nasty, and we're bound to get nastier.
Well, so, I mean, part of what I was reading looked like, farmers are right now having to decide about planting, which means they're negotiating with their bankers about loans
Right.
for getting ready for buying seed, and I suppose still some fertilizer. I don't know how much of that is fall versus spring now.
Yep. Yep.
But, so they're going to be having to plan for how much seed to buy, which means they've got to arrange those loans with their bankers. And
Yep.
when they've got, no predictable markets
Right.
for, particularly corn and soybeans,
Right.
what the hell are they doing?
Yep. They normally sell a lot of the corn and soybeans about this time of year to then pay for the seeds and the fertilizer that go in now.
Okay.
And they're not doing that this year
Right.
because the price is so lousy and dropping. And so it's, in fact, it cost more last year to produce the crops than they can now sell them for by a big margin. It used to be a small margin. It used to be about 50-50. And so you could sort of survive hoping things would get better. Suddenly they've gotten much worse. So the small banks are quite worried because it will take banks under with them. It's going pretty badly in the farming territory focused on farmers.
So are the smaller farms going to get bought up by the conglomerates? I mean, is that kind of a backside?
If the conglomerates are stupid enough, yeah, they could be. But there's another problem that gradually the land is becoming less farmable.
Okay.
In part because of the heat, that it's becoming less robust and productive, and it's not regenerating the way it used to, and it's getting filled up with funny new fertilizers and chemicals that are a no-no. And then we have the droughts gradually moving in more and more, and so to own a lot of farm ground is, I mean, you step back and look at it, is not a good investment. That it's just how long that thing is. And a couple of weeks ago, I wrote an article about this issue of the Atlantic Ocean stopping,
Yeah,
and no longer moving,
mm-hmm.
And that was to happen. I show an article in around 2100. That was to happen, and it's a complete disaster for much of the earth in terms of drought and really bad storms, both almost side by side at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's the ultimate no-no. That was to be 2100. So we have to do something to slow down. After that, it became 2050. And so in the more recent issues, it was 2050. And then 2 weeks ago, an article came out, could have been Science or a sister of Science. That article was that actually is going to be 2033, October 23rd. It stops. And they did it with some humor, but they explained in the article that humans need specific dates to relate to. And so it's the 23rd, plus or minus a few weeks, months, years, and then comma, and it could be before 2030. And so they wanted to point out that it's slowing much more rapidly than they had thought. And when that happens, farming as we know it will change very radically, and much of it will disappear. So that Atlantic Ocean thing is really the big deal in the sciences. That's the tipping point that really matters.
Yeah.
So
well, that's when the UK and related regions, I think, have their potential next ice age.
Yep, that's right. That's right. That's right. You no longer have the warmth going up through the ocean.
Right.
And Scandinavia, forget it. That a lot of Swedes and Finns will be living in Iowa. No, that's. I mean, there are many big deals around climate change, but right now that's the biggest scare. And that Atlantic Ocean should not stop moving.
Yeah.
And it will, it seems.
Well, and then the related question is going to be, so where is food production going to happen?
Somebody jokingly said the ocean. And another response in the same debate was actually the ocean will be worse than the land in terms of food production. That a non-moving ocean, forget it. Living organisms will not be there.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, what's his name? Who's this partner of Trump? The partner in crime?
Elon?
Yeah. He thinks the future is in Venus. So you really must go to Venus. That if you want to make it, or if you want your genes to make it, or your family to make it, send them. And he's going to provide the spaceships that don't blow up that will take you there.
Yeah.
That's his argument. For people in one of my lectures, they really hated the part where I gave them a presentation on Mars, on how Mars used to be quite like the Earth, and that they increasingly find that it had oceans, lakes, forest, that Mars was really quite a place, and that somehow or other it changed. It now has an average temperature of 800 degrees on the surface, and not much life there. And the cause was, guess what it was? CO2. So they found that CO2 is what changed Mars, but not from humans, but it was CO2 from a release of such energy systems. And so Mars is a great example to bring up of how bad it can get. So,
but it's always nice to have a picture of your future so people can kind of envision it without having to use too much imagination.
Or they can send David Hawk a death threat after that. That I'm beginning to frame my death threats. They're pretty good. They're more articulate than the agreements I get. They're quite passionate. I think I told you about some of them. One was about negative entropy, that you can have negative entropy, but it only comes from God. And if you develop a relationship with God, you can have negative entropy. And there's a footnote in the paper saying that this was all hand printed, not written, printed. Every space on this 8.5 by 11 sheet was covered with his printing. But he recommended forget Jesus, because Jesus screwed up planet Earth, and God's unhappy with what Jesus did there. He created a mess. And so you got to go straight to God to get negative entropy. And so it was quite a letter. It's touching. Sorry, Gary. I can't take much more.
Yeah, it's
we're not meant for this.
Yeah, we started the morning with a meeting with our older son, who is our financial analyst, about the feasibility of escape plans.
Yep.
It didn't go well with him, but
Yep.
at least I got answers about the possibilities.
Yep. That sounds like my family. Two of my daughters are irritated with me and my approach and my attitude, because they're looking forward to retiring on the farm and living here. And this idea that things are going to hell is a bit negative.
Well, it's probably not in their plans, but
No, it's not. And I'm not to talk about it over meals. I can talk about it when I'm alone and sitting in the living room, but not over meals. So be it. And yeah, Natalie's much better. You'll enjoy Natalie more. She likes to when people that we three sort of don't like being with are around, she zeroes in on them. And, imagine a young girl going and sitting there at the table, looking at them saying, where do your problems begin? I mean, there's something going on there that is not sweet and nice. And they detect it. And, 2 months ago, a former student came out with a friend of his, a young guy, who was really obnoxiously optimistic and about, if we could clean up capitalism, it'd all be better. Just, keep capitalism, but fix it. And then, boy, she wouldn't let up on him. He had personal problems that he had to deal with.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Natalie since we saw you in New Jersey.
Yes,
and she was like maybe still in a stroller, I think, at that point.
She reads several books at once. And so if she's doing nothing else, and if I only had vision, she does a lot of painting, does beautiful paintings. You'll see when you're just beautiful paintings. And she's fine. And she goes to all the city council meetings in Iowa City to figure out what to do with politicians. And so how do you deal with politicians? Because she said, they act like a disease, but they're not that important. So how can they do what they're doing? Because they're really not important. And then the way they think is just irrelevant. And so she's a problem in the town of Iowa City. And then she's a problem in some of her classes too. Such as in her mathematics class, she asked a question from a 150 person room that, does mathematics have to be boring? Is it important that it's boring? And in her physics class, she's the favorite student because she has a stack of books, a physicist, that she's been reading. And so she's trying to learn what the teacher should be teaching. And in fact, the teacher likes her and likes very much. And so he brings books to give her to read also. So she's doing well in college in spite of college. I'm sure she'll be flunked out. They'll get rid of her.
So is she at Iowa State?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
University of Iowa.
University of Iowa. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. She's fine. She just scares people.
Oh, Kelly found her way here.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, I can't get on my computer.
You're on.
Yeah, it's on her phone. The fallback. So I spent some time with Kelly yesterday. So it's like she has to shut down everything on her computer so she can get on with her computer. But I knew she could get on with her phone, so it should be okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wished I could get to an image. I had a couple things to show you, but so be it.
Well, one of the features of being on Google is that if your Wi-Fi goes out, you can actually use your phone and call in.
Ah, okay. That's good for me.
Yeah.
Well, unless we've got any other prep to do, I need to get on and take care of some other stuff, like probably get a shower at some point today.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be out next week, but I'll check in for messages. So the week after, whatever prep we need to do, finalizing, any last minute stuff, I'll be around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's actually, well, I'm leaving on the Thursday, so that's like April 9th. So this calendar is moving really fast.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming right up to it. That's why I wanted to make sure there weren't any details that we hadn't covered up to this point. But
yeah, no, yeah, we're okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
See you, Gary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, David. We will see you in Iowa before long.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Good.
Okay. See you.
David, during that time, we should be doing some planting.
Oh, yeah?
So people can watch farmers planting crops.
Oh, good.
It's Yeah. Jeff is anti new equipment
Mm-hmm.
because John Deere claims to own it.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is make payments.
Mm-hmm.
It's also computer organized, run, managed,
Yeah.
which it's not possible for the farmer to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tries to stay with old equipment that doesn't have a computer in it and things like that. So he does reasonably well. And then he makes up for what we talked about before of lack of money for farmers from grain.
Mm-hmm.
He makes up for it with quite a lot of money from raising cattle.
Mm-hmm.
And so cattle continues to be good money,
Yeah.
but grain is a no-no.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
can I ask a question? Because I'm just jumping on really late in terms of regenerative. Um, David, can I ask you, when you're growing, are you using fertilizers if we're on regenerative? It kind of comes into play with both the Canada-US situation with the potash coming in from Saskatchewan, but also, I guess, the quality of your soil.
Sure. No, the fertilizer, there's quite a variety, and it depends on the nature of the soil. And if you have used cover crops during the previous winter and spring, the soil is quite healthy and quite good. But if you've used nothing and there was a drought the year before, the soil is quite bad. So people compensate in terms of extensive fertilizers. And so there's quite an array of how you in essence feed the seeds. And the equipment is quite different too. Did you get that?
I did.
Yeah, but don't worry about Canada and US, that eventually the US will join Canada. And if you allow us permission, we'll crawl up on our knees and beg for permission to be part of Canada, because
I
the
think
US thing didn't work out.
I think that it was less economic than it was about regenerative. I mean, we started in regenerative soil, so it was a question that who knows where the meeting went to. So I don't know if it was an appropriate question.
I
no,
don't know what an appropriate question would be anymore, David. Do you?
we were mainly actually just catching up on the plans for the Iowa trip because Judith was on the road, and so she started that, and
Yep.
Gary is leaving for Chile on Saturday, so he's going to be offline for a week. So we're just checking in.
Haha, I'm glad that I wasn't on the call then.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to Chile. That's one of my favorite countries.
Yeah. So he on the call with Susu, he was saying that they just discovered that there's all of these factories that are going up near because they're going to the place that's dark where you can actually see the skies.
Right.
But with these new factories coming in, it's gonna be light pollution, so they
Right.
won't be able to see them after a little while.
Yep. I read about that.
Yeah.
Yep. And also the climate change is beginning to affect Chile quite badly because of its location.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an ideal place anymore, and the wine production there is in trouble.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that Terry really wanted to go before Americans are no longer welcome in Chile.
Boy, he better hurry. When's he going?
It's Saturday.
He should go quicker. Maybe Friday. Okay, I'm kidding, sort of.
Yeah. Well.
Americans are loved everywhere. Right, Kelly?
I like you.
I'm not an American. I'm from Iowa. We were never accepted.
I'm actually on Reddit. I'm on the Iowa forums, and so I'm watching. And there's so many complaints about people from Iowa that had moved away and came back, and they're very unhappy. They're saying Iowa is not like it was.
Yeah, nothing's like it was.
Mhm.
And then others say, thank God. So, yeah, because Donald's trying to take it back to like it was. And it never was that way.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting segue in terms of regenerative farming in Iowa. I was reading something that had to do with what's it called? Now I can't even think of it. Like high production farming in Iowa, and how destructive it was.
Yep. No, that was something we knew about in the 60s.
And so
And
taking it back to that, is it, I mean, is it taking it back, or is it just keeping it the same? Is it?
It's making it worse. In the 60s, we knew how bad industrialized agriculture was becoming relative to the soil. And that there was, ultimately we would not be able to grow crops on that trek. And that was part of the reason I went to Yucatan to study for a semester.
Right.
Because I wanted to go see how the Mayans had done the same thing. And even though they didn't have tractors, and somehow they had eliminated the forest land, eliminated the non-usable plants, and essentially turned it into agricultural land to grow food for millions of people. And in the process, they brought on climate change for that section. And so it turned into a drought and funny storms and unlivable, and the cities were abandoned. And so it's the same play, mostly from 600, 800 AD during those 200 years. And so I went down there to learn what they had done during that time. And it was quite clear. So then climate change didn't seem that confusing later on.
Can I add a comment? I think I may have mentioned it before in terms of my ex-nephew, who his area of study was on hemp plants, because they're really useful in terms of splitting them for different areas. He worked with the U.S. Veterans in terms of post-traumatic stress, and I was really glad he went on that track as opposed to for fun. But when he worked with the drug lords in South America, he was saying that they should use tractors because for efficiency, and they said no, because then we don't have people working. And so I think that's kind of interesting in terms of like different parts of society. I guess they're doing the right thing for the wrong reason. I'm not quite sure.
Yep. If you're interested, that was also a presentation by Carl Sagan on how industrialized farming is ruining society because the youth no longer are doing things. They're just part of a service economy. And so they should be, in agriculture, actually outgrowing plants. They would learn a great deal more. And that was not popular in '96, but now it is.
Right, like Judas's kids as well. I don't think that came out well.
Yeah. No, he claimed we were going to lose it because the youth had no connection with actually doing things, that they were just sitting around waiting for service jobs.
Isn't that by government policy that we were going into a service economy, especially in North America?
Sure. Then you don't have to work for a living.
I can't even say anymore that I'm supportive of illegal drugs when marijuana is legal now.
Yeah. Oh,
Or
well,
what the drug lords are advocating for.
oh well. Oh well. It goes on. So
Can I
David,
claim
what do
to
you
be a
think?
heretic yet?
Sorry?
Can I claim to be a heretic yet?
Which religion are you part of?
Oh, right, I can't.
You
Okay.
have to be a member of the religion because I was not allowed in Sweden to be a heretic because I wasn't part of the Swedish religion. You can't defy a religion unless you're a member.
I hope you can think of a new term for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like people being against systems thinking. They really have to be apart before they can be a heretic.
Sorry, Daviding, that I'm taking your conversation in a different way.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna sign out because I'm getting hungry. I have to go at lunch. So you can
Okay.
stay on, but I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we hear from you again or see you on the 11th.
We have another meeting actually on April 3rd. So we have a non-rational on April 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
April
Yeah,
3rd.
it doesn't come up in my calendar. I still can't figure out what's going on, but I definitely have to get rid of the pings. It was keeping me up all night long. I was getting these damn pings because of the Google feeds.
Okay.
So the
You can
notices, yeah, the
you can
notices.
you can silence them. You can silence them.
If I can
Yeah.
figure that out, where is that button?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to do it when you we'll do it offline. So
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. See you later.
All right.
Okay, David.
Thanks,
Good,
David.
good.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, David.